Life is busy. We get pulled in a million different directions, but you can still manifest your life on purpose. And it starts now.
Thank you so much, Gabriela, for being here. So everybody, I want to introduce you to Gabriela Van Zuilen. She is many things and also the owner of the White Lotus. And
my pleasure.
I wanted to thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited.
And, I wanted to talk to you about what's happening right now with everybody's in a different way of life right now.
Yes.
Why? And what can we do about this? What can we do about this to stay connected to ourselves and to get through it feeling maybe even like we're going to come out of this better than the way we went in?
And that is kind of the idea of it. So what is happening is collectively we are shifting. And this is happening at us. And I'm just speaking about, our spirit and our energy at a spirit and awareness level and energy level. So there's a huge collective shift that is happening in the world. And that we can join in and tap into that source of energy and kind of take it as a time of, retreat and a time of understanding and a time for soul searching and a time of respecting what Mother Nature is asking of us. Or we can, just oppose to it, refuse to it, and just suffer through it. So that's kind of the options. As always, we have free will. We make our own decisions as far as how we want to handle our growth. And so I encourage everyone to just try and not only stay home. It's not about staying home. It's about going within our own home, going to our core self, where, our divine energy resides. And how you do that is by being just quieting the mind, quieting your surroundings, disconnecting from a lot of outside noise. And this is what Mother Earth is asking us to do. She's saying it's time to change all patterns. We cannot continue to operate at that level of carelessness and selfishness and disconnect from each other and disconnect from her. Because, Mother Earth is a recycler, and that's what she does. She continuously brings up new. And we're not respectfully doing what we need to do. So there is a time of going in and a time of reflection, which this is a time of reflection, and it's happening at a worldwide level. It's a huge, huge collective shift, and it comes from an offering of collective wisdom. And so we can join in and come out of the other end wiser, better, with a broader understanding, with a more compassionate, kinder approach to how we deal with our everyday challenges, or we can continue to be the way we are. So that's kind of what the choices are.
Yeah. So do you think that in some way, Mother Earth has put us in this position so that we have to stop and think because things were getting just a bit out of control?
Yes, absolutely.
In the whole world.
Yes. Yes. I want to share something that I'm a huge studier of Native American culture. That is something very, very spiritual and dear to my heart. Couldn't tell you why, but it is. Yeah. So I was reading yesterday and studying about different Native American cultures and costumes, and they had, and this was so eye-opening for me, and it was such a message for our chat today, because back in the day, okay, so they operated, and I believe some tribes continue to today operate this way. They had a council made of elder women, okay? And these women, these wise women, there were medicine women, they were spiritual healers, and all these women would meet, and they were the ones that connected to the community, which is kind of what you do, what I do, what many of us are doing right now. So they would go out to the community. They themselves had chosen in partnership. Now, listen to this part of it, which was very interesting, because I am all for women, but I think we have shifted so far one side that we're missing the partnership with men. So they, in partnership with a men council, would bring the issues from the community to the men council. The men council, because they're problem solvers. If you ever have brought a issue to your husband, they don't want to do the emotional side of it. They want to solve it. That's what they do. That's what their spirit is. That's, they're warriors, they're fighters. That's what they do. And they want to go, tell me what's going on, I'll give you an answer. And that's how they work. So they had that council in place. So the wise women will deal personally and emotionally with the issues at hand. So the community will bring it to the women's council. The women's council will bring it to the men council that was chosen by the wise women of the tribe. Okay? They would put a plan in place and would bring it to the women's council again for review and for a yay or nay to move forward with the plan. But they would together would consider how would affect our next generation sevenfold. So imagine the thought behind not only if I build a huge neighborhood in a wooded area. Right now we're doing this constantly, daily, without thought of what's coming. So imagine what Mother Earth is going through right now, and she's like, okay, enough is enough. These people would sit there and analyze how it would affect their children, their children's children, their children's children's children, 7 times forward, before making a decision as to how they would approach that issue. So imagine how we've come from this conscious way of living and living on this planet in an interdependent way, in a friendship partnership. And we've become, the owners now. We treat it as if it was our own. So that shift is what is happening, what Mother Earth is going, we can't continue this way. We're not aware, we are operating out of greed and out of, abundance of just ridiculousness. And I know that's a harsh word, but it really truly is what we're doing. We're completely disconnected from each other. We are completely disconnected, and the cost that we are, the cost of our actions. We have no thought of what we're doing. So we just do because it's what we do. And we have continued, instead of being in our circle, we are created as a whole. We are all one, but we're operating, completely separate. So all these things at an energy and a spiritual level are a no-no. So, we were not able to get it together ourselves. So the earth has said, okay, enough is enough. It's time to go back to the old way. It's time to reflect in how what I do on a daily basis affects everybody else. How does this affect the earth? How did this affect, my neighbors, my community? How involved am I in what issues are being presented, and am I doing my part? And I think it's just a learning curve, and it's a very exciting and beautiful process. But we have to kind of join into it. We can't just sit at home and say, I'm on the way to the virus is gone, because then we kind of miss the moment.
Right. I agree with what you're saying. And I think what you're referring to as well is there's a whole lot of instant gratification that goes on in this world right now. There is a whole lot of instant gratification. And I mean, I'm going to admit, okay, do I desire something in some ways? Yeah. Like, I like to see my results. Love to see it. I love to see results. It makes me feel good. I don't care if it's washing a car, I love to see the shininess of the car afterwards. That's why I'm going to do it. But I like what you brought up too, because I'm thinking of even locally, when you talk about land, clearing land, doing all of that kind of stuff, and I would be surprised if they're thinking of how is this going to, this is what we need right now. But number one, how is it going to affect the next generation or the one after that? Because what kind of building materials are you using to build these buildings and put them up so quickly? Well, yeah. So you think about the destroying of it, but then you think about the building materials. I mean, I'm seeing some things go up pretty quickly. Absolutely. Which if it's built in a quality way, it cannot go up that quickly. So the reason why I'm bringing this part of it up is because if you think about generations and generations and generations, is that going to last?
No.
Is that going to satisfy and be great for our future children, grandchildren, and their grandchildren, et cetera, et cetera? But if you really thought it through to see, maybe that would be built. We're just using kind of the construction thing as an analogy, but would that be built out of concrete blocks or something that's going to last?
That's the way we used to build. I mean, if you go to Europe, everything is built that way. That was built in, many, many centuries ago. So, but we're missing that. And what I want to...
Yeah, that's a great example, though, of how we have kind of instant gratification. Here we go. It's going to work for now. But honestly, the way that I've seen some things, I'd be surprised if they're around with my grandchildren, which I already have grandchildren, when they get old enough to be able to live in a place like that.
Absolutely.
So I think I love the way that you put that. And you're right. We need to right now use this time wisely. And I realize I'm very aware that there are some people that have family members that have this virus. This is not good. It's not. They're in a whole nother position. Some people have passed away because of it.
Yes.
But those of us that are in a position to where we can use this time to really reconnect and take a step back, it's been a pleasure for me to be able to go out, because and we are staying home. We are staying home. However, I am helping deliver meals to elderly. I mean, I'm doing those things all in a safety way. But so I am on the street sometimes. And it's a pleasure to me, actually, to not see people rushing anywhere, not see people running out of here and running there. I mean, it's just so like...
That's right.
Calming.
It has to slow down. Yeah. It just has to slow down. We have to slow down. The only way we'll live consciously is if we slow down.
So those of us that know now, and hopefully everybody that's listening, if they're not slowed down yet and they're worried about when this is over, this, what are some of your suggestions? Like, so how can we slow down if we're so used to being out? And I thought we were talking about this the other day, with someone about the being, right? So not even just people that are busy. It's not even sometimes just the being at home. Now they're being with themselves because they don't have all those distractions.
That's right.
So what can we do about this?
So I want to address two things in what you said. I think that's very valid, what you said. There are some people out there that are very sick. or they have family members that are sick. And I am by no means, not saying we shouldn't look at what has brought us to this new moment. Okay, there is truly something, devastating out there, and but we can handle both. We can handle this, and we can handle it the same way if we were to be ill or if we're healthy. Okay, the recommendation is the same. Okay, we still can be in the moment and aware and have an understanding why this is happening. Okay, and it's all about just removing the fear aspect of it, which I'm not making light of it. It's a very difficult process, but it's not only about people being ill. People are losing their businesses. People are not able to financially support themselves or support their children, which is, something that is a little bit, more difficult for most of us. It's okay if we don't eat, but, we don't want our children not to have. And so there's some real things going on, but and I can tell you from my own experience, I just expanded my business, and my business is closed. And it was a difficult journey at the beginning, because it was kind of like, yes, I get it, but, I just opened this business. I just invested all this money. I just put all my some hopes and all this stuff into, upgrading what I did. And there is a loss. There is a time of grieving for, even for not only the building itself, but your dream of it and what you want it to become. The same thing with our health, the same thing with everything. There's a grieving process to what's happening, and that is a natural process. But we have to move through it, and we have to become aware that this is happening for a reason. It's happening. It's not happening because there's a virus out there. It's bigger than that. The consciousness needs to expand into a bigger and wider vision, so we can. The key is to not focus on the physical stuff, but go inward and focus on how you're moving forward and where are your thought patterns. That is the key, right? Because if we continue to think about what I need to do next and what my challenge is next, and the word goal, we use it all the time. My goal is my this, my that. So we're very driven by results. So if we don't change that pattern and say, okay, I did open this business and I had all my dreams and all my money invested in it, but it's just a building. It's just a building. If you have an understanding to where you can put that to rest and say, I opened it and this happened, and my focus needs to move elsewhere. It has to be away from the building, and it has to be more on, I got 2 months maybe that I've never had in my life, because I've worked since I can't remember, and most of us have worked hard all our lives and are very driven and goal-oriented people. And now you're being offered a moment in time that is so sacred, that, that is available to us with no restrictions. So if we can put away the worldly stuff, like, and I know this is not easy, but this is for just this little time. It's going to pass. It's going to pass. And I don't want you to miss it. This is the thing. So put on the shelf the finances, and remember, this is worldwide. It's not us not paying our bills. It's not us losing our business. It's not us only. This is all over the place, right? So then we can accept that a little bit better and change our way of thinking. And instead of thinking like, oh my God, I'm failing, or the old thought patterns that drive you to go 110 miles an hour every day of your life, if you can put that aside and focus on, I have this time to get to know myself, to listen to myself, to learn new modalities, to new things, to look at things in a different way, to spend time in my backyard and just sit there, to spend time with my kids, to pet my dog for more than 2 seconds when I'm making breakfast. Like if we can go inward and analyze why we run at such a speed and put aside everything that is worldly right now and just focus on our thought patterns, our spiritual connections, our way of treating our life, I think we would come out the other way, better people, slower rolling, with a broader understanding of us as a whole, and our little confinement time is going to become a church for us. It's going to become a sacred place of where we are growing, where we're changing, where we're metaphoring into something unbelievable. Because this is going to be, a collective wisdom coming out of this cocoon of time. But we cannot miss this window of time. So if we continue to look at it like we can't go out because there's a virus out there, we're missing in what we need to do inside. And so the way to go through it is to go in, inform yourself, read about what you want to do, figure out what you want to do or who you are. Take a moment to just be where you are, how you are at this time, and see what your spirit is telling you, and just trust that, and go in faith that everything that you've put on that shelf for the moment will be there when you're done, and it will solve itself because that's how the universe works. What you're putting out is what comes back in. So my plea is that you all remember that you can affect the world by the way you tap into your own core. And so that's what I believe to be the truth of this beautiful and complicated time.
It's beautiful and very complicated, yes. And I love what you said about thinking, putting those things on the shelf. And one thing I always like to remind people to do is that thing that you've always wanted to do, or that business that you've always dreamed of, or that house you've always wanted to live in. Like now's the time to get excited about it and really put yourself in that place. If you're having a hard time putting the other stuff on the shelf, maybe, and you have a hard time meditating, or you have a hard time going inward, think about all the things that you really desire to do and get excited that way, because that will take over the other stuff, right? That will get you truly excited. And there's a lot of other steps that go to that, as you know, right? Don't doubt yourself, all of that. But it's just one good way too, that we're all in a place right now where there's nothing wrong with dreaming. There's nothing wrong with dreaming.
There's never nothing wrong with dreaming.
And also, when people are in places right now, indoors, maybe they don't have a very stable relationship. Maybe they have a significant other where they don't.
That's right.
Maybe it's I don't know any other better word to say than dysfunctional household. If you're in a place like that, first of all, just know that if you reach out to myself or Gabriela,
Absolutely.
There's definitely help. Just reach out. If we can't do something, we can get you to the resources that can. So we don't want anybody staying in a place that is unsafe. No, it's just not. It's not even an option. Just reach out. We can at least get you in the right direction if there's something that we might be able to help as well.
Yeah.
And just be okay with knowing if you're in a spot like that it's okay. I mean, you know what I mean? It's okay to reach out. It's okay to admit that, you know what?
Oh, absolutely.
This is not working. Because people are, in some instances, not able to get a relief from something that is a situation that they typically would by going to work or that the kids typically would get away from going to school.
Well,
So
this is also a time like when we have hurricanes or when we have any time. I mean, this is a long period of time to be inside where child abuse and domestic violence just peaks because of what you're saying. There's no out, but there is an out. There is an out.
Yeah. So everybody that's listening, just reach out. If you know somebody that needs some assistance, even if it's just somebody to talk to, even if it's just somebody that you need to vent to, that's what we're here for, right?
Even if it's not as serious as the abuse we're speaking of, even if it's just being overwhelmed with what's going on or what's going on in your home or not having not being able to process what's happening, we are definitely here, always here. I'm also hoping to put together a circle and start doing some circles where we can support each other and get together and chit chat with each other and bring up these topics that maybe we don't normally get to share, normally in a very sacred and of course confidential, space.
Right. And for now, because we do have social distancing, we will be putting something together that will be in a space like this.
Yes.
That's not live, obviously, on social media, but in a closed situation like this.
Yes.
So everybody be on the lookout for that.
Yes.
And oh my gosh, Gabriela, we have so much more we could talk about, and we definitely will be.
Yes.
So everybody look out for us and coming back in. And yeah, I really appreciate you being here and all that you do for the community and women and children and men too.
Absolutely.
There's some amazing. I'm with you. We can't go to one side here.
No, we got to work in partnership. Partnership always works better, as we are showing right now. When we get together. It just duplicates, it triples, and it just ripples, and it does wonders. And
it does.
You're
together
too. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Together we are stronger.
Yes.
Thank you, and so are you. And together we are stronger. That's what we're here for.
Yes.
So everybody, let us know if you need anything. Please reach out, but you'll be seeing us very soon. Yes. So have an amazing rest of the day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Miner. I am founder and president of Hopeful Handbags, a global nonprofit 501c3 and charity organization. We give hope and support to women who have gone through domestic violence and other detrimental situations. It's time to raise awareness that domestic violence is not okay and that there is help and support all over the world. You can donate money, handbags, or necessities that will give hope to these amazing women. Never underestimate the power of hope. If you or your business would like to become a corporate or local sponsor anywhere in the world of Hopeful Handbags, please contact me at hopefulhandbags.org. That's hopeful, HOPEFULL, or KathleenMiner.com. And you too can give hope.